As kids, we used to be told, grow up, grow up. And as we grew up, there are things that we didn't know and we came to learn later in life. There were styles and methods of survival, some out of how we were brought up, others out of life, taking us through character development, properly dissecting us to points whereby we were able to be shaped and understood what we were supposed to be and who we were supposed to be. And in those times, we didn't understand it. But let's look at many people as they grow up. Some people have not left their childhood. What do I mean? If when they were kids, they were very competitive, they grow and become competitive. Among parents, everyone wants to prove to a parent that I'm the better one than the other one. And that's why you'll see within some families, siblings trying to wrestle out. They have families, they have properties, but they still want to prove who is better than the other one. They never grew up. They may have grown up in their physique, mentally maybe, to an extent, but they're still the little children, still feisty, the same sibling rivalry, the same malicious, the same nefarious things they did to the other siblings, they still keep doing it. And others, when they get into relationships, they still think that their partner should mother them or father them because they have not outgrown who they're supposed to have been. They still believe that their parents should do this to them, so their partner should do the same to them. They cannot separate that their partners are not their parents. And they'll keep carrying the same childhood character through. When they have children, they become competitive against their children. They make it even worse when now they put children to compete among each other. And the one who pleases them the most gets the most gifts. So you end up creating another generational curse rivalry because now these other children start believing that that's how life's supposed to be. When they're having issues within their marriage or in the relationship, they want to bring the kids involved. So the kid now starts learning the weaknesses of a parent, which is never advisable. And so as the child grows up, they start choosing sides because it was already embedded in their system as children. So as they grow, one parent is the weaker, one parent is the stronger. But that's not the case. The same people who have unresolved maturity, when they get into places of careers, they will want to step on other people. They'll want to show other people I'm better than you. Others can go deep into being workaholics, trying to resolve the things that they were told. Personally, I became a workaholic. And mine was based on the trauma as a child because I would be compared to other children who I never was. And I was not a straight A. I was an average student. I was the guys who sat at the back. Not because I liked it, but because when I was in the front, I never understood anything. I'm a creative person, and my creativity never worked in the front. I worked in the back. So I've been a backbencher all through my life. And as I grew, I thought maybe I was a failure. But to my shock and my amazement, as much as I failed in sciences and mathematics, when I was in campus and college, I was succeeding in them. And in life, I was able to break through many places and spaces I didn't think. Now, if I had sat into that mentality of the words that were uttered and the environment and the condition that was around me, I don't think I'd be here speaking over to us on a screen to strangers on the other side. It is until you reach a point and you have to do your own self-evaluation. Ask yourself, are there things I'm carrying from childhood that I'm bringing into adulthood that should be left in childhood? Are there unresolved issues? And we can become very overprotective. Why? Based on trauma. You have witnessed or been a victim of something and said, I'll be very protective. You end up having a child who's thinking, nope, not me. They become rebellious. Why? Because in your level of being overprotective, you forget that that child also at the same time as they're growing, they also have their own growth, their own dreams, their own pursuance of things. Eventually, your fears come to fulfilling because the child does the direct opposite. Let's say, for example, you run from your own motherland to another country because of war or whatever conflict it is. eventually your child, as they grow older, or the grandchildren, start saying, where was my roots? They will go back. So if that place you left while you are running away, if you had left it unresolved in terms of the community, you were rude or anything, when this child will go back, that is the hostile environment they will meet, because remember, they will look like you. They'll have a character that resembles you. So everything we do in our life, we should be careful and cautious. Those games that we play, we should be careful and cautious, because they come back to bite at a time and at a place whereby you can't run. So it's very important to ask yourself in the life, when you're working hard, when you're doing the things you're doing, when you're passionate about something, are you passionate because you love it, or are you passionate because there's something deep down, words that were uttered that made you feel less of a person? Someone you dated or married told you you are not this, you are not that. Now you're trying to prove. Because sometimes in you trying to prove what people told you are not, you might become the second monster. Guess what? Even worse than the monster themselves. When we try to prove based on trauma, based on anger, bitterness, loss, we end up becoming worse than we're supposed to be. So learn to balance. It doesn't hurt to balance. It doesn't hurt to admit that you're not perfect. The person you'll meet on the other end will come with their imperfections. It's up to you to be humble enough and put your ego in your pocket and accept you're ready to learn. There's positive ego and there's blind ego. It's important to separate those two, to be able to ask yourself, why are you doing it? Because there are people who, because of the negative words they did, when they get into communities, into families, into relationship, they start undermining their spouses, their partners, their children, their community. Eventually, they fall into the same hole they thought they escaped. You can run from everything. You can say you've run from home, you've run from a country, you run from a community. Doesn't matter how far you run. One day you'll be drawn back, whether you like it or not, directly or indirectly. But once you score and resolve the issues all around you, if you ever go back, it will receive you. The environment will receive. The people may not, but the environment will fit in with you. Running away from things never solves a thing. And it's always good to identify within yourself, are there character and traits that you've carried out of pain, out of trauma? Is there a level of entitlement that you are raised and told you are the king, you are the queen, you are the prince, you are the princess, that you've carried all along, and you're bringing it into families, networks, business? Because there are people you can't work with because they feel they own everything, they run everything. Why? They used to be told that. It's sunk into their DNA. There are people you can't sit in one room with because the moment they speak, you just want to shut your ears. Because of being, instead of being empathetic, they are very dumb, they gaslight everything. There are people you can't even be able to correct them, because every correction they start telling you, do you think I'm like this, I'm like that? I'm thinking, what, you know what? Not my cup of tea. You may shut some doors, close many amazing opportunities, relationships, friendship, network, because of unresolved issues as a child. Unresolved things that you said, I'm going to let it slide. Guess what? In this life, you let nothing slide. That pothole that you look and ignore becomes a very big hole that cars and trucks fall in. That small wound that you neglect to deal with, that small bleeding area, eventually the whole area catches up. That small fire lit by a small matchstick that you refuse to put it off eventually burns everything. Doesn't matter how many times you run or hide. Doesn't matter what you tell us. Doesn't matter what types of level you put yourself in. Doesn't matter what type of language you adapt to. If you have not resolved things and come to a place of resolving, I'm sorry to say, it comes back. And when it does come, it's not pretty. So whatever it is you've gone through or you're going through, when you're in a place where you feel you're good, solve it the best way that you can. Because whatever you run away from always comes back. And the sad thing, when it comes back, you don't have the same strength and the zeal you had when you ran away. We will all go through things, and we're all going through something that is tough. The only way to do it is to look within, examine yourself, examine how you talk, examine what you watch, examine what you feed yourself, physically, spiritually, and mentally. And ask yourself, am I doing this because I'm running from something, or am I doing this because I'm growing? Outgrow the unresolved issues that you once were, and you will thrive. But you have to go back to those uncomfortable places, sort it out. Then you can only thrive, because storms build warriors.